Hello, you're inside another Sunday's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Edwin Atkinson. So glad you could join us. We have a wealth of knowledge to share with you, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The public sector touches the life of every single Jamaican. And that is why the government is transforming the way the public sector operates by making better use of technology to improve the delivery of public services, by improving the compensation of public sector workers to attract and retain the skills needed to run a modern and efficient public service, through the training of workers to drive performance, innovation, and decision-making, by reducing waste and eliminating corruption, and other measures to make sure the country gets the best value from every dollar spent. The government of Jamaica is building a better public sector for all.
On Get the Facts this week, we delve into the stigma surrounding adoption. Watch as we shed light on this important tool for giving children a safe harbor and building families.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. In Jamaica, adoption serves as a tool in the social services system to improve the future chances of orphans, children in state care, and others in challenging circumstances. Adoption gives them an opportunity to be raised in a loving home environment. It also provides an avenue for people to become parents. Unfortunately, there is stigma associated with adoption, and this has only made the process more challenging. On that note, Maxine Bagelu, the adoption coordinator at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is here today to shed some light on the benefits of adopting and to help erase some of the stigmas associated with adoption. Lady Bagelu, how are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, so let's jump right into getting the facts. What is adoption?
Adoption is a legal process where the child's biological parental rights have been transferred to the adopters.
What are some of those rights, would you say?
Well, they no longer have care or control. They can't make decisions any longer for that child because everything is now placed in the hands of their new parent.
Okay. So what are the factors in your experience that usually leads people to consider adoption?
I think one of the first things that persons normally think of is, or people believe that persons who can't have children. That is one. Persons who just want to provide a loving home for a child who is not that fortunate.
Yeah.
Persons who believe they want to just help a family, because in Jamaica, we do a lot of family adoptions.
Okay.
So a child may have lost their parent due to violent situation or health reasons. So a family member will come in and chip in and want to have that child in their family.
Oh, so that's somebody they know already?
Know already, right.
Okay.
Other family situations is that parents, birth parents, because of the circumstances that a child may have been conceived, and they looked in themselves and see, well, they can't offer the child what the child really needs, that love, that care, the environment that will let that child nurture. So they decide to offer their child up for adoption.
Okay. So lead us through the process of adoption.
Okay, persons who are interested in adopting need to think about it carefully. They need to think about it. Is this something that I really want to go into?
Yeah.
Because this is a life decision. You're going to have this child. This is a child that you're going to be able to care for the rest of your life, just as if you had given birth. You have to love children.
Okay.
You have to know that you can afford to take care of a child. You have the environment, you have the family support, you have the financial support, and you are willing to offer yourself, because it's a very sensitive and touchy area.
Right.
Yeah, because persons may not even want to talk about it, that I'm entering into this, I'll tell my neighbor or even my friends to know.
Right.
Because adoption is a very stigmatized area. People don't readily discuss it. we need to move away from that. Because persons, once they are adopted, you find that it is even difficult to you to get those persons to talk to you about it again.
But to dial back to what you were saying initially, more than feelings, more than you wake up one morning and say, hey, I feel I want a child,
No.
there's a lot of consideration that needs to be put into the process. So I've ticked that box. What next?
Okay, the information about the process is on our website,
Right.
www.cpfsa.gov.jm, and there you'll find the application form, the guidelines that take you through the entire process.
Right.
You'll also see a list of documents that you need to have. So when you have all of that, then you will submit it to us. We'll review it.
Virtually or
No,
physically?
you can submit it. No, we don't take virtual because a lot of the documents that you send to us have to go to the courts eventually. So they are official documents, so we need to ensure that we have your original birth certs, your marriage cert, but you are given back these at the end of the process, so you don't have to worry about it.
Got it.
Right? So after that is done, then we review the documents to see if everything is there. Police records are a requisite, so to ensure that you are in good standing in your society.
Yes.
References from persons who have known you well, which we also will check to find out if it's true, and to ensure that we are placing a child, or this child will be placed with is somebody worthy.
Right.
So all that is reviewed, and then you'll be given a letter at the end of our review process and tell you that you'll be assigned a case number and a caseworker who will make contact after.
So the CPFSA gathers this data, reviews it. Is there any one-to-one vetting of the individual himself by the CPFSA?
Sure. After all of that is done, the real work begins.
All right.
In that we'll have to meet these people face to face. So we'll have to meet the birth parents, we'll meet the child, we'll meet the person who is adopting. And all of that interaction is culminated into a case committee report, which is presented to the adoption board. Because the adoption board still have authority by law to give approvals to all adoptions that are done in Jamaica before they can go towards the court for conclusion.
So the CPFSA is facilitating.
Yeah, we are just the processing arm.
Right. I understand. So tell me now, what are some of the prerequisites a person needs to tick to be eligible to adopt?
Okay, male, female, a couple, or you can do it singly.
Single people can adopt?
Yes, they can.
All right.
You must be over 25 years. If you are related to the child, however, you can be 18 years and older.
You serious?
Yes, you can.
All right, that's interesting. Anything else?
As I said, you need to love a child. You need to want to help a child. You need to want to be able to bond with a child, right? Because the attachment and the growth over time is very important, because that will determine the child, what the child will become.
Does the person need to, you mentioned certain things about like environment, finances. Does the person need to demonstrate these things to the CPFSA?
Because we will be visiting. We will visit your home to see what your home is like, how the child and you may share the space, the support at home, because we want to ensure that the child is in a comfortable environment and the persons in the home are also accepting of this child being placed with you or in the home.
Right, because you have homes where...
Homes already, yeah, you have other family members there.
I see. So, I've started the adoption process. Can I terminate it?
Well, yes, if you start the process, and for whatever reason, you may decide maybe this is not, after our visits and interaction, you realize that maybe this is not something that you are in for. Yes, you can.
Yes. Soul
searching, right. And that's why I said before at the beginning, you need to ensure that it's something that you're really in the long haul for.
Yeah. How long would you say this process takes before the child is placed?
Before the child is placed? Well, children come to us from various avenues. First, there are family members who will come already with a child already attached to them.
Oh, okay.
So that process will take 3 to 6 months for conclusion in the court. For those who are awaiting children or ask the agency to identify a child for them, that will take a little longer. Because one of the things is that persons believe that all the children in our facilities are available for adoption, which is not so. Right? There are children there for care and protection. they have parents. So we have to ensure that we would have passed the hurdle whereby those children can't go back home. Their parents are not able to take them back before we are then able to free them for adoption.
Understand. We have to go to a break now, but just before I do, I want to ask you this one, and it's burning in my head. The child has been placed. Can I say, no, I don't, but I want to do this?
Yes, as long as it's not yet concluded in court, we can have that discussion.
But once the court concludes,
But once the court concludes, it's your child.
Understood. All right, we are going to go to a break now, but the discussion continues on the other side. So please stay with us.
Keep that smile on their faces and preserve their innocence. Cherish the moments you have with them and create the best memories. Let's inspire our children to dream big and work hard to achieve all they aspire to be. Take the time to listen to our children and really hear their side of the story. Our children deserve love and the right to access their basic needs. Do your part and protect our children.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We are aware that there are numerous stigmas surrounding adoption, such as the idea that a person must be infertile in order to adopt, even though many people adopt in order to expand their family. People who have children adopt. Our guest, Maxine Bagelo, the CPFSA's adoption coordinator, is here to assist in dispelling some of these stigmas that we associate with adoption. Lady Bagelo, you mentioned it in the first half. Let's drill into it now. What are some of the deep and serious stigmas surrounding adoption?
All right. In Jamaica, we have 3 groups that form the adoption family, basically. So you have the birth parents who offer their child.
Okay.
So society look down on these set of people to say, why are you offering your child for adoption? Because not even puss nor dog don't give it away anymore.
Mercy.
Right? So they are looked upon as if they are doing the worst thing possible and not seeing the flip side, that these are persons who have identified their weaknesses and want to give their child a better life. Right? Then you have the child who is chastised at school once it is discovered that they are adopted, because they can't understand the love and understanding that is put into when a person really want to adopt a child or have adopted a child, and that child is so special in a family.
Hey, that's a potent point right there. Children happen to so many of us. Adoption is a choice.
It's a choice, right? So making that choice is so important. And providing a forever family to this child is all that a child, most children yearn for, that forever family.
So this child now, maybe by their peers, is seen as like a second class
child. Right, which is unfortunate. And still, we also want to change the stigma on the birth cert that these children receive at the end of the process. It has the adoption on it, and we really need to change that. We are working with RGD and the lawyers to see how best that can be done in short order.
Sorry, if I can ask, when you say it has the adoption on it,
it is written at the top, Adoption Children Register.
Oh, so I'm different.
So you're different. So once you take up that, everybody knows so you're different. Although it may look in paper just like yours or mine, but it has that heading on the top of it, and we want that to be removed.
Understand.
Now, the third set of persons are the adopters. Now, in Jamaica, again, we have this thing about persons not being able to have children. So you find that persons who adopt hide it as much as possible.
Yes.
Because they don't really want persons to readily know that they are not the biological parent. So we want to remove all of that feelings that persons have to understand that this is how we are, and all three groups are very important in the process.
Yes.
Right? Don't blame or put down any group.
Yeah.
So because some of the adopters are fearful, they don't tell the children from an early age. And you find that children may find out at a later stage in life, and it also damages the relationship and the trust that they have in their adoptive parents when they do find out.
So you recommend?
So I
telling the
recommend
child.
that a child who is adopted is told from an early stage. We encourage that you start with bedtime stories. There are a lot of books that we refer our adopters to that they can start with telling the children from a young age that, about adoption. So adoption is not a tabooed word, so they become familiar with it and not afraid of it. Because in the adoption process, I think why persons may not be willing to talk or even want to do an adoption is because they fear. The fear of maybe the child not liking you over the birth parents or not bonding with you over their birth parents. The fear that you may want to go back to your birth parents. But all of this can be changed if we communicate, if we get ourselves educated on the subject, and all of that.
Right. So people outside the unit treat it as taboo, but also you find that people inside the unit treat it as taboo too. You know, you're not communicating with the child, you're not helping them to understand what they're going to go through. So it's two angles we have to deal with stigma from.
We prepare our children before they're placed. And as I said, in Jamaica, more adopters are from within families. So at least those persons already know each other.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily mean because I know you, I will be willing and openly want to discuss it still. Because it depends also on the age at which the child was adopted.
True.
Because younger ones, not much information is passed on. But the older ones would have already known.
Gone through the process.
Right.
Understood. All right. So there's two terms that I have here: open adoption, closed adoption. Help us understand the distinction.
Okay, open adoption is where the biological parents can interface with the child, although the child is living and the adoptive parents has responsibility for the child. So there's some boundaries, however, that normally is set, but there's that interaction that continues. They can spend time with them. While closed adoptions, the adopters don't know who the birth parents are. The child don't know who the birth parents are necessarily, and the birth parents don't know who have adopted their children. But in Jamaica, the practice is for closed adoption because once a child is adopted, their original records are sealed. So information pertaining to that is not readily available unless it is, you have to go to court to get that information.
Totally understood. And right here at the tail end of our program, you had mentioned it earlier, but I want us to just reiterate a little bit. If I'm interested in adoption, if I've done the due diligence on my side, I start by going to your website.
Right.
And the documents are there.
You download them, fill them out, and make sure there's a checklist that we have. Ensure that you have check off all the things that you need to get. Then you take the package or mail it to our 48 Duke Street office. And when we get them, we will review them and respond to you within 2 weeks.
Totally understood. All right, Lady Bagelo, right here. There are persons who have adopted, persons who have been adopted, persons who are thinking of adopting, who are watching this program right now. In the last few seconds of this program, I'd like you to address them with whatever is on your mind or on your heart.
Well, adoption is a very important aspect of life. It's a life-changing decision, and I would encourage persons not to shy away from it, but try to find out more about the adoption process before how it works, and you need to maybe talk to persons who have adopted. And that is why this program, we hope, will bring about that awareness to persons that we need to move away from the stigma that is attached to adoption. It's just another way of providing a loving family for a child as well as for a family without children, or even a family with children. But it's just an addition. So I encourage persons to let us talk. Let us keep the conversation going
Yeah.
about adoption.
Thank you so much. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Maxine Bagelu, Adoption Coordinator at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
Children are the future, and ensuring our future is healthy requires that children are always provided with nutritious foods to grow well and live long. Unhealthy diets high in sugar, salt, and fat consumed by children may make them obese and prone to non-communicable diseases later in life. Healthy foods and beverages not only help them learn better, but also protects them from non-communicable diseases such as some cancers, diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular diseases in their childhood and adult life. So, whether it's at home, in the lunch bag, or at school, let's make healthy foods and beverages for our children the only rule.
Keith York Angelo Nugent, hailing from the parish of Kingston, an auditor who has spent most of his professional life working between the private and public sectors, and rural Oliver Grant, a farmer from the parish of St. Thomas. Two complete strangers going about their regular life, but as fate would have it, they ended up at the same place, a time where heroism would be called on. Friday, April 8, 2022 started out as an ordinary day for both men. But what would unfold later that day was far beyond their expectations.
I was coming from a district named Willowsfield, heading to Ardley Crossroad. About 5 chains before me reach Ardley Crossroad, I see a white Nissan T that turned up on the Rolandsfield Road that way I was going. So the car was in front of me driving, I was driving behind it. When I reached exactly 1 mile from Ardley Crossroad where the car turned up the hill from, in a corner I see car, I see something turn over in the road. So I was saying to myself, what is this in the road? This turnover in the road. So I back up my car now and I go there fast and I tried to pull the front door, but that front door like it closed from inside. And I go and I pull the back door at the left, because that is the side that was up in the air. And when I tried to pull it, the weight of the door bring it back down for me. So I go back the second time with more force and hold it up and look over it. And some people was in the car, was crying out and things like that. And when I look now, I take up my phone and I say I go try to call the police.
I was on my way to a funeral service in Rolandsfield, St. Thomas. Having turned onto the Rolandsfield main road, driving for about 10 minutes, I came around a deep corner. I came up on a car on the side, flipped over on the side. Having seen that, I immediately recognized that something was wrong.
By the time I turned back, we parked my car. I see Mr. Eugene.
I saw a gentleman on the location. He started to scream for help, so I immediately pulled off the road.
And Mr. Eugene come out and roll up the door and we are trying to take them out.
We were able to pry the back door of the vehicle open. I noted that there was a small fire in the engine of the vehicle. There were some ladies inside who were all lying on each other. Very little movement at the time, so we started to call out to them, and after a while one person got up and we started to shout instruction as to how to climb up towards us. As they came up to us, we instinctively tried to pull them out. We got to the stage where there was an older lady, and she took a while to get up. After getting up and standing up, she couldn't respond when we said to place her feet on the back of the chair so that she could reach up high enough for us to reach our arms under her armpit to assist her. That took quite a while to get her to respond. By this time, the fire was coming into the body of the car, so I started to feel it against my chest as I leaned against the vehicle. I was exhausted and realized that the car was now almost fully engulfed. I knew there was someone else, but that person was motionless. That person had not moved, had not responded to any of our calls. We made one last attempt to get that person out.
He was trying, but not did like him pinned down. She was behind the driver.
And an older gentleman ran up and used a fire extinguisher to hit the glass, the windscreen, and only her heel was able to come out. We weren't able to assist her any further.
We tried our best what we could do till the fire just come up in the car, start spreading in the car and just start big fire up in the air and something like that, and we have to just run away from it.
There was no hesitation about attempting to save them.
For their act of bravery in saving the lives of 4 women from a burning vehicle on April 8, 2022, Rural Oliver Grant and Keith York Angelo Nugent stood alongside other recipients to receive the Badge of Honor for Gallantry at the 2023 National Honors and Awards Ceremony on Heroes Day. The Badge of Honor for Gallantry is awarded to persons who have performed acts of gallantry or acts of heroism, or who have shown great courage in circumstances of extreme danger.
The gallantry section has always been a favorite section of mine on Heroes Day. It's where I believe, the common man is recognized for his contribution to this country, and I've always watched that section with interest. It's actually with a sense of gratitude that I accept this award.
When I really get award, yes I know, I will always think of doing good. I always used to do good before that. This is only one good that recognized.
Keith Nugent and Rural Grant crossed paths for the second time after their walk across the lawn to the platform of King's House to receive their national honours from the hands of Governor General Sir Patrick Allen.
And just like that, we're signing out for today, but not to worry. You can rewatch this offering or other content like this by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us again tomorrow on the same station as we bring another informative, educational, and entertaining package of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.